What if I told you that you hold within you a key that can unlock a doorway to your highest energy? It's not some magic phrase or a complex ritual on top of a mountain. It's something far simpler, so simple in fact, that you've probably done it hundreds of times without realizing its power. Imagine for a moment that your body isn't just a physical structure, but a living temple, a sanctuary created by forces greater than us. Inside this temple, there are doors. Some you can see, like your eyes, mouth, and skin, and others you can't, like energy centers and spiritual pathways. At the very heart of this temple is a door that's been guarded for centuries, a door that doesn't open with words or force, but with a gesture so small it might go unnoticed, placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth. It may sound silly or naive to a modern mind, filled with logic and noise, but the wisest civilizations didn't think that way. Ancient Indian sages called it Khechari Mudra, the gesture of those who travel through the ether. Taoist monks referred to it as the heavenly gate in the mouth. Egyptian mystics hid it in their symbols, and shamans called it the seal of the soul. Coincidence or forgotten wisdom? In this video, we won't just show you the power of this ancient gesture. We'll dive into its spiritual origins, its energetic role, its impact on your body's sacred systems, and most importantly, how it can awaken your consciousness in moments. You'll discover how a nearly imperceptible action can become a spiritual antenna, connecting the earthly to the divine and unveiling what has always been hidden. Prepare to remember something your soul already knows. You're not here by accident. Perhaps this knowledge has been waiting for you, and now the door is in front of you. Are you ready to step through? For centuries, spiritual traditions have taught that the human body is more than just flesh and bone. It's a sacred map encoded with symbols, seals, and keys. One of the most overlooked and powerful keys? The tongue. Yes, that muscle we use daily to speak, taste, or stay silent holds one of the most closely guarded secrets of universal mysticism. When the tongue touches the roof of the mouth, something shifts, and ancient cultures were aware of this. In ancient India, followers of Jnana Yoga practiced Khechari Mudra. This gesture, one of the most powerful, involves placing the tongue on the soft palate and eventually, in more advanced stages, even into the nasal cavity to complete the body's energetic circuit. Yogis discovered that this simple act could redirect the flow of prana, life force, elevate consciousness, and lead to deep meditation or even spiritual ecstasy. But the yogis weren't the only ones. Taoist masters taught that the tongue acts as a bridge between two primary energy channels, the governing vessel, running up the spine, and the conception vessel, running down the front of the body. When these two channels are connected by the tongue touching the roof of the mouth, it creates an energetic circuit known as the microcosmic orbit. When this circuit is activated, qi, vital energy, flows freely throughout the body, nourishing the organs, balancing the mind, and deepening spiritual connection. Even in ancient Egyptian teachings, though not described as explicitly as in the East, you'll find symbols that could relate to this practice. Some Egyptian texts show initiates with their heads slightly tilted back and mouths closed, as if in silent communion. Some believe these gestures symbolize returning to the center, where the tongue plays a key role in connecting with the inner temple. Even in mystical Christianity, there are hints of this practice. When sacred texts talk about sealing the tongue or keeping silence, they may be pointing to an internal practice of focus and spiritual energy channeling. In some Eastern ascetic traditions, meditative postures also involve placing the tongue on the palate to still the heart and bring the breath deeper into the body. What all of these traditions share, despite their differences in language and beliefs, is a deep understanding of the body's power as a spiritual tool. The tongue is not just a part of the body, it's a switch, a connector, a conductor. When used correctly, this small gesture can instantly alter your energetic state. To modern eyes, this act might seem insignificant, but the ancient ones knew that in the small, there lies access to the great. A simple touch, a quiet connection, can transform the body's energy and open doors to deeper understanding. This isn't superstition, it's an ancient wisdom passed down through generations of inner knowledge. And now you are part of that living tradition. The tongue you use to speak might also be the tool to reconnect with the language of the soul. Imagine that inside you is an invisible circuit, a flow of life force that, when activated, can transform not just your body, but your consciousness. This circuit is in everyone, yet most people don't know how to awaken it. It's like a river that hasn't yet found its path. Now, picture that this energy can be sparked with just one simple gesture, not a complicated chant or tough pose, but the intentional use of your tongue. Yes, that small muscle you take for granted is actually a hidden key. When you place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, especially towards the back, near the soft palate, you're not just doing a physical action, you're creating a closed loop in your body, connecting two important energy channels, the Renmai, front channel, and the Dumai, back channel, which are known in Taoism as the microcosmic orbit. In yoga, these channels are similar to the Ida and Pingala, representing the lunar and solar energies that flow around the spine. When your tongue isn't touching the roof of your mouth, the energy moving through these channels can scatter, lose its direction, or go off course. However, by consciously placing your tongue at the right spot, you close the gate to the outside world and open a path inward. This allows your body to work like an energy circuit, circulating prana, chi, or vital energy, much like a rising spiral. This isn't just some abstract idea. When you practice this with focus and attention, you may feel tangible results, a gentle warmth or vibration in your head, clearer thinking, or even deeper meditation, sometimes in just minutes. You start to feel a connection between your physical body and the subtle energy field. The tongue, in this practice, acts like the switch that completes this sacred electrical circuit. Once the circuit is closed, the energy starts to flow with intention, purpose, and strength. Why does this simple act work? Because the human body is not randomly designed. The roof of your mouth, particularly the soft part, is full of sensitive nerve endings connected to the brain and the autonomic nervous system. When you place your tongue there, you send signals to the brain areas that regulate balance, heart rate, stress, and even your spiritual awareness. This is like telling your body to get into a higher state of awareness. Some traditions believe that this gesture also stimulates the pineal gland, which is linked to the third eye and plays a key role in producing melatonin and other substances that enhance perception and consciousness. By connecting your tongue to the roof of your mouth, you begin to gently activate this center. It's like the body starts to resonate, tuning into a forgotten frequency, a vibration that awakens and prepares the inner self for something greater. What seemed like a simple action becomes a doorway to the soul. So far, we've seen how this small movement can close an internal energetic circuit and raise our spiritual vibration. But like any tool for truth, this knowledge comes with deeper meanings and warnings. Activating this energy is a serious matter. It's a spiritual responsibility. One lesser discussed aspect of this practice is that it can trigger hidden internal processes. By closing the energy circuit, we not only awaken the divine, but also stir up what's been buried. This means that as your consciousness expands, old tensions, repressed emotions, or memories stored in your subtle body can come to the surface. Why does this happen? Because energy doesn't judge, it just flows. When it moves with more power, it can bring up anything that was blocked or hidden. That's why many spiritual schools only taught this practice after a period of inner cleansing, silence, and emotional work. Not because it's dangerous, but because it can speed up processes the soul might not be ready for yet. Here's an important point. Activating energy is not the same as knowing how to handle it. Some people may experience mystical sensations or visions right away. But without emotional balance, guidance, or discipline, these experiences can be mistaken for fantasy or even imbalance. Ancient teachers often said that anyone who opens the path upward must first purify their inner space. Another thing to keep in mind is the physical effect of this practice. Holding your tongue against the roof of your mouth for a long time can cause jaw tension or make it hard to stay focused if you don't do it naturally. It's crucial to remember that this gesture should never feel forced or mechanical. It needs to come from an inner intention, an intentional connection. The tongue isn't just touching the roof of the mouth. It's like your soul reaching up to the sky. In that quiet but powerful touch, this gesture subtly shifts your awareness. It calms the mind, deepens your breath, and helps you enter natural states of meditation. It's not a shortcut to enlightenment, but rather a quiet tool that, when used with respect, can open unseen paths. This gesture holds deep spiritual meaning. The tongue represents speech, the power to create or destroy with words. By placing it on the palate in silence, you are making a sacred act. It's like saying, "Now I choose to listen to my soul, not speak to the world." It's the mark of someone who chooses silence, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, not to avoid noise, but to hear the eternal. Perhaps the most transformative part of this practice is the reminder that real power isn't always in what we do or say, or in seeking things outside ourselves. Sometimes true power lies in small acts, hidden gestures, or in the choice to turn inward and briefly connect with the divine. Now you know the secret. Within your mouth, there's a sacred door. When you activate it, you transform your inner energy and elevate your consciousness. The real question is, how do you use this tool in your daily life without falling into mindless routine or shallow practice? Ancestral wisdom isn't meant to be accumulated, it's meant to be lived. Every sacred practice needs to be rooted in your everyday life, not just as an occasional exercise, but as a way of being. Here are some simple and practical tips for using the tongue-to-palate gesture, also known as the internal seal, with awareness, purpose, and safety. 1. Start with silence, not anxiety. Many people begin these techniques hoping for quick results, intense experiences, or mystical sensations. But spiritual energy doesn't respond to impatience, it responds to depth. Before placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and center yourself as if you're connecting to an invisible, sacred space within. 2. Make it part of your meditation or quiet time. When you meditate, pray, or simply sit in silence, gently place your tongue on the palate without forcing it. Pay attention to how this gesture helps you feel more centered, connected, and aligned. You might notice a sense of calm, mental clarity, or even a subtle expansion. Don't chase these feelings, just observe them. The seal is not the end goal, it's the doorway. 3. Use it in moments of stress or disconnection. One of the best things about this technique is how quickly it can bring you back to the present. When you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or disconnected, take a moment to pause, breathe, close your eyes, and place your tongue on the palate. In just a few seconds, your body will start to calm itself and find its center. 4. Avoid turning it into a mechanical habit. While it's helpful to practice regularly, be mindful not to make this gesture automatic or mindless. A tongue placed without awareness won't have the same effect as one placed with intention. Perform it with respect and consciousness. Each time you do, you're telling the universe, "I'm here, I'm present, and I'm open to receive." 5. Combine it with mindful breathing and energy visualization. To enhance its effects, Pair the gesture with deep belly breathing and the visualization of energy flowing up your spine or activating your chakras. This will not only strengthen the energy flow, but also help you stay aware and present within your body. True spirituality isn't about knowing many techniques. It's about how deeply you live the ones you practice. This simple gesture can be incredibly powerful when done with devotion, awareness, and surrender. At this point, what you've discovered isn't just another technique. It's a hidden key, one that has the power to reconnect you to your divine nature. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered a simple truth that carries deep wisdom. The simple act of placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth can transform your energy, raise your consciousness, and deepen your relationship with the sacred. But why does such a small gesture have such a big impact? Because it's not just a physical action, it's a spiritual attitude, a sacred gesture that quiets the ego and opens your soul to deeper truths. It's a reminder that in silence, the truth speaks. When you place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, you're not just activating energy circuits, you're activating your spiritual intention. And perhaps that's the most powerful part of all, because what truly awakens energy in you is the awareness of being fully present. In our fast-paced world, everything is measured by speed, excitement, and noise. But the true spiritual path has always been the opposite. Slower, quieter, and deeper. This gesture embodies that truth. It's an almost invisible action that has the power to move mountains within. So the final message isn't about instant miracles, but an invitation. Come back to your inner temple. Recognize your body as a sacred map, and remember that awakening happens not just in retreats or mystical moments, but in the small, conscious acts we do every day. Your tongue isn't just for speaking. It's also an antenna for your soul's frequency. By placing it in its sacred position, you make a promise to yourself to be present, open, and receptive, and to allow the divine energy that has always been there to flow through you. Next time you seek clarity, peace, or connection, don't look far. Close your eyes, turn inward, and remember, the door to higher consciousness is closer than you think. It's inside your mouth. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel so we can keep exploring the secrets of the body, soul, and universe together. Like if you felt this teaching touched something deep within you, share it with others who may be ready to discover this sacred key. And let us know in the comments, have you tried this technique? What did you feel when you activated this inner connection? Your experience might inspire someone else. And remember, the journey of awakening begins with one simple gesture and one conscious choice.